All right, guys, welcome to this month's special of Cook Wild on the Hunting 101 podcast. I'm sorry that it's coming to you a week late. I was sitting on the beach in Destin all last week.
Sounds tough.
So I was not recording a podcast. I was at the Bear Studio, as you heard this Wednesday on the podcast. It was an incredible time. If you have not listened to that episode, guys, I would highly encourage you to jump back to Wednesday and listen to that episode from the Bear Archery factory in Gainesville. But for this month's special of Cook Wild, I'm sitting poolside here in the backyard of Foodie Mike C, Chef Mike Castaneda, and we're making Philly cheesesteak pizzas by the pool. Yeah, you heard it. Philly cheesesteak pizzas right there on that little Camp Chef, and they turned out phenomenal. Guys, stay right here tuned in to hear how you can make a Philly cheesesteak pizza right at your house.
Welcome to Bear Archery's Hunting 101 podcast, where hunters new and old come to learn and find inspiration from stories of hunts gone by. Everyone is welcome to enjoy the outdoor way of life, and there is no better time to start than right now. So let's head into the great outdoors with your host, Dylan Ray.
All right, Mike. So you said it best yourself. The moment you ate the pizza, you said, if you want to give somebody venison,
This is how you do it.
That doesn't like venison, this is how you do it.
This thing was packed with flavor. No matter how you look at it, it was cheesy. It was amazing. I mean, there was the onion flavor, the bell pepper flavor. I mean, this thing just tasted like beef.
Now, what's crazy to me is when you hear, like, we're going to make a Philly cheesesteak pizza. Not only are we going to make a Philly cheesesteak pizza, it's going to be, like, artisan style. Like,
Absolutely.
Straight up delicious.
Yeah.
You think, well, man, this is going to take forever. Like, it's going to take a lot of work.
3 minutes?
Literally 3
3
minutes.
minutes.
3 minutes, 2 turns, and we had a pizza.
Yeah.
Now, before we jump into, like, the ease, because what I was most impressed with was, like, you would think I'm going to have to saute veggies and sizzle the steak first and do all this prep work. But we didn't. Like,
No.
we chopped up the onions, peppers, steak, threw it on a raw pizza crust, put it in there, and it was perfect.
Absolutely perfect.
So walk me through first how you make your crust.
So, one thing I really got into, I really like the 00 flour. I actually like to use, I think it's Caputo brand flour. It's a 00 flour.
What does 00 mean?
I think it's just extra super fine flour, and it is incredible. And if you can't tell, there are flies everywhere out here, but that's fine. You know, we just had all this amazing food out here. Why wouldn't they be here? But they are super annoying. But anyways, this flour, incredible. So what I like to do is called a 70% hydration. So no matter how much flour you're using 70% water with it. So if I use 1,000 grams of flour, I'm using 700 grams of water with it. Tepid water, and basically I'm using like a gram of yeast per 1,000 of flour.
So just so people can get an idea, how much are they going to need to make one pizza crust?
So I just made 2 good-sized ones, and I think I used 500 grams of flour, and I used about 350 grams of water. So
that's going to make 2. So if you were to make 1,000, you're going to make 4 pizza crusts.
You're going to make a lot, probably more like 5-ish.
And these were big,
they
thick,
were good,
fluffy,
yeah,
delicious pizza
absolutely.
crusts.
And this is going to give you, if you watch the video on how we did it, and that's the thing, it is a short. This is the beauty of what we're doing. We're making reels, we're making shorts. Everything we do is going to be on a minuscule level, so you can watch it very quickly. You can see exactly how we're doing it. You will see how I'm pressing my hands. I'm pressing all the gases from the pizza to the exterior, to make a nice crust. And when you look at the photos, the video, anything that we're doing, you're going to see this beautiful well to the crust. You're going to have this nice exterior crust to it, but at the same time, all the gases are going to create this chamber to it. So it's going to be crunchy on the outside, but it's going to be nice and soft and kind of chewy on the inside. So, I mean, it is going to make, it's not going to be dense and hard. And,
Right.
I've had so many pizza crusts that are just a huge letdown for that factor, but this is just gorgeous. But at the same time, if you want something, because we kind of talked about if you want something more of a flatbread style, you could even take the crust recipe that we have, you can take it in quarters and smash it on even thinner, and then maybe even stab it with a fork all over or something like that to let the gases out and do it more of a flatbread style if you like more of a thin, crispy crust.
But you're still going to use that 70%. No matter how thick or thin you want it, you use that same ratio for your crust.
Yeah, and that's what I do. But you can do like a 60% hydration if you would like to. But for me,
make it more dense.
Yes. But for me, the way I like to have my light, airy crust, I love to stick with like the 70% hydration.
Gotcha. Now, what blew my mind, and I've had experience with my Camp Chef pizza maker, but this is literally right here. Like, it's 2 knobs that you turn on with propane, and it's literally feet from your pool. Like, when you eat that pizza, you would literally think, dude, I was sitting in Sicily. Like, I've never been to Sicily, but that's what it tastes like.
It's crazy because, people do have this kind of idea that you can't make great pizza here. And, like one of the best pizzas in the world was awarded to a place in Arizona, of all places.
Really?
And it's wild. It's one of those things. You study your craft, you perfect your craft, you use real ingredients, and I mean, you can make solid pizza anywhere in the world. And, something like this that puts out great heat, regulated heat, you can really make some amazing pizzas in your backyard.
Now, just so people are aware, like, I'm not about to drop a crazy number on you. I think you can have a Camp Chef pizza oven on a burner for like $200.
Yeah.
Like, if you have any burner, you can put that oven on there that's like $200, and you're making crazy, incredible pizzas.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the first time I had family in town, and the first time I turned mine on, I was like, guys, I don't know how, like, we're gonna try it, and hopefully it turns out good. But like, let's just see. And everybody was like, dude, wow.
Yeah.
And I didn't do anything special. I bought a pre-made crust from Walmart. Like a pre-made crust powder, and I just added water to it. But everybody was like, dude, are you serious? And I'm like, wow. Like,
and we were talking, 600-700 degrees in 4 minutes?
Yeah.
It was insane.
Now, how long do you let your crust rise?
So typically I like to let mine kind of ferment for 24, 48 hours, but this one literally was 2.
Gotcha. Now, why adding time to it doesn't make it better?
You get all those nice gas bubbles trapped in there, worked in there, and I will also beat my the dough around for 5 to 7 minutes, something like that, to work all the gluten into there as well. So you will notice when I toss the dough out on the video, you'll see it looks like spider webs. So the longer you let it set and release all the gas, and the more you work your dough, you'll see like more of those spider webs work through. So typically when I turn my dough out, I'll try not to release as much gas as possible. I'll rework the dough. I'll cut it in half or quarters or whatever I'm going to do, and then I'll reshape the dough, and then I will let it sit even longer to have those gases start to release.
Come back in.
Yeah, so then once I do press it out, I'm forcing all those gases right back into the crust, so I have those beautiful, hollow edges.
All right, so we've got our crust. We've got our pizza oven. Now, first off, before we jump in, like, if people are automatically like, well, I'm not going to run out and buy a pizza oven.
Yep.
How can they make a crazy good pizza at home?
The best thing you can do is max out your oven, I would say. Typically,
like broil?
No, not broil. That would just be too much intense heat directly down on it. I think you're going to scorch your top before you would do anything else. But 500, 550 degrees. Typically, when I'm doing a pizza,
that was
700 degrees or so. But the beauty of this thing, I mean, it has a pizza stone that's going to absorb all that heat. It's going to reflect all that heat back into it. It's going to have all that heat. It's generally coming from the bottom, but it's also going to reflect it up over the top as well. So if you're going to try to do it at home, I would suggest at least having a pizza stone in there that's warming up with the oven. You don't want to throw a cold stone into like a 700 degree oven. Yeah. So otherwise that thing could just shatter on you.
Gotcha.
But put it in there as it's preheating. Even if it's a 500, 550 degree oven, that thing is still going to kind of maybe take on more heat, maybe get it to about 600 degrees. Throw your pizza on there, and then just kind of let it bake as it goes, and you will see the crust start to form up. So that's my best advice, is at least have a pizza steel or a pizza stone that you could work with.
Now, so you formed your crust, and I remember asking you, I'm like, wait, you're not going to cook the steak? And you're like, no, the oven will do it for us. I'm like, there's no way it's going to cook steak fast enough to cook with the bread.
Mm-hmm.
But, dude, I mean, it was perfect. It wasn't overcooked. It wasn't chewy. Right. It wasn't – I mean, I literally told you – because, I mean, I eat venison a lot, but I'm not stupid enough to say it's ribeye. Like, I'm not one of those guys that sit and say, like,
Pretend
it's
that
venison or nothing. Like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
But I literally told you, I'm like, you could sell this for money. Like,
you could do this every day for sure.
And it was crazy good. So you formed your bread, and then you just threw, what was the cheese sauce on there?
It was a Monterey Jack cheddar mixture.
So just, like, go to Walmart and go to, like, the cheese section and find, like, the
So, yeah, and that's the thing.
cheese.
You could use anything if you wanted to. I mean, even if you wanted to use an Alfredo, by all means. Cheese whiz, something of that nature. You know, that's true to the Philly nature. You know what I mean?
Cheese whiz is?
Cheese whiz, yeah, for sure.
That wasn't a joke?
No, for real. Cheese whiz is true to Philly nature. And there's a lot of different people out there who will say, like, you know, Geno's is a big Philly one out there, but they will use things like Cheese Whiz because that's how they made some of the originals. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
So if you want to stick to kind of like an original Philly style.
So then why didn't you go that route?
This is what I had. So
Gotcha.
This is what I worked with, you know?
Well, and that's what I like. And I've always said I not only admire that about you, but I learned that from you is like, even though you're like world-class top chef, like, you'll throw together just like, well, this is what I have, so this is what I'm going to make. Like, you don't have to go out and spend hundreds of dollars to make a good meal. You're like, dude, we got ramen and 4 other ingredients. We're going to make ramen burritos. And I'm like, we're going to make what? Like,
Yeah.
You remember that?
And it'll be, and it'll be ridiculous.
I think you put popcorn chicken and ramen.
And
like
we'll throw some sauces together, and it'll be one of the things that people will ask for. And it's like, I don't remember what I did.
Crazy.
And it'll be incredible. But
all right, so cheese sauce down.
Yeah.
And then you literally threw raw venison steak,
absolutely,
raw onions, raw peppers.
Yeah. A little bit of
more
seasoning,
cheese,
salt, pepper, garlic, and that was it. Yep. That's all it takes.
Guys, like I'm telling you, like, we try so hard to overcomplicate wild game.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't.
I showed up at Mike's house at like 6 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
and at 6:20 we're eating pizzas.
Yeah.
And I'm talking from scratch. Like, I brought the ingredients, so he didn't prep anything before I got, well, other than the crust, but didn't prep anything before I got here. And in 20 minutes, we're eating like wood fire, like straight up
gourmet
pizza.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
By the pool.
So by the pool, literally, he made it right here. His pool's right here. He did his video sitting in the pool.
Yeah.
It was almost comical because I'm like trying to film him and I'm like floating off on the floaty.
Yeah. It was.
But
hard.
anyways, so like we literally made world-class pizza right here in the Camp Chef, right next to the pool. It's 105 degrees outside.
Mm-hmm.
This episode is brought to you by
climate warming.
by Copper Tone and Camo Crocs.
Yeah.
But no, guys, 100% give this a try this weekend by the pool, in the kitchen, wherever you're at. Try this because it took 10 minutes. And I'm telling you, like, you can bash me all you want, bro. I went to Walmart, and they had, like, pizza crust mix. And it was, like, real fancy. I mean, it wasn't like the, DiGiorno pizza crust powder, but... And you mix powder, and we let it sit for 24 hours, and then you make crust, and it was crazy good.
Okay.
Like, you don't have to try really hard, guys. And that's what I've always loved about Mike. You don't have to have top-class ingredients. Mike doesn't go to the vineyard and pull his tomatoes to make his sauce. Like, you can make incredible stuff right at your house with what you have. And if you got Cheese Whiz, it's going to be authentic.
Yeah, for real. Just do it.
Guys, try it this weekend. We're about to go jump in the pool, have some more pizza. Thanks for listening. You guys have a fantastic week.